Do you just jump into the trade like so many people do when it comes to trying to do short-term option trading in the SPX? They jump into it and have no plan, no strategy, as we talked about step number one. And then if they don't have a strategy, don't have a plan, then obviously they don't have any risk management. And so they're willy-nilly about it. And next you know, they wind up killing their account, blowing up their account. It makes no sense if you trade these strategies without having an uncle point. In this video, we're going to discuss the mindset you should have when you're short-term trading. And what we are referring to as short-term trading, we're talking about trading with options with zero DTE. DTE means days to expiration, so that's a day trade, 0 days to expiration. We're talking about one DTE, that's 1 day to expiration. And we're talking about a 7-day trade, 7 DTE. Those are the main type of time frames that we teach at Dorian Trader, and those are the time frames we think are best. Yes, you're going to at times have some time frames that's in between that and maybe a little longer than that, depending on the type of risk management you have, depending on the type of adjustments you might have to do.
Please subscribe to our channel. Make that cash a blaze. Have a trading and manage your risk.
But we're going to talk about 3 things regarding this mindset. You're going to have to understand that you need a plan. You need a strategy when you're trading these 3 time frames. You need, number 2, risk management. You need a significant amount of risk management. And number 3, you need a stopping point. We like to call it an uncle point. When you say uncle, when you get out of the trade and you move on. Okay? Now, let's start off with point number 1. You need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. At the Dorian Trader, we teach people about the plan you should have, or what we believe that plan should be. We have a course called the Statistical Day Trading course that Dr. Meadows has created in our Dorian School. You should check that out. It's amazing. It's only received amazing reviews. You will learn how to trade or how to day trade options at a significant high level and be successful if you follow the steps to the T. Right? You follow the steps to the T, you will be successful at that. And we have members that are demonstrating that. But the 0 DT trade is the toughest. You can make the most money day trading options with a 0 DT expiration time frame, but it has the most risk. It has the most gamma risk. And if you're not a disciplined person, you can end up destroying your account. So we tell people, if you're going to trade, if you're going to day trade with options, you need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. You just can't jump in it by watching a few YouTube videos. So our statistical day trading course is phenomenal, right? It's phenomenal. But let's just say that's not for you, right? That plan is not for you. Well, maybe a 1 DTE or 1 day to expiration option trade suits your temperament better. And if that's the case, it's probably because it's 50% less gamma risk than the 0 DT trade. You do have overnight risk when you're doing a 1 DT trade, but we trade it almost every day and we haven't experienced an overnight issue that caused us to be in the money yet. But it will happen in the future, and we say that all the time. You need to have a strategy though, and we teach at Dorian Trader an amazing strategy for 1 DT trading. We talk about having $5,000 and trying to make 2% off that $5,000 for every contract you have. And we go into more detail in other videos, and we encourage you to take a look at that. And by the way, we're trying to grow our YouTube channel to at least 5,000 subscribers. So if you can please subscribe to our channel, because most people who watch our content are not subscribers. We encourage you to subscribe and support us that way. At the very least, we would super appreciate it. With that said, the 1 DTE trade can be the second most powerful money-making trade to the 0 DTE trade. And it's a little easier to manage. Right? And we teach you the steps that you should have, what steps you should do, what delta you should put the trade at, what whiffs of the spread you should do. Should you do an iron condor? Should you do a put spread or a call spread? Should you adjust by using a stop limit, like 3 times or 4 times the credit you receive? Or should you go by what we call at Dorian Trader risk zones, green, yellow, and red? How should you manage that? Okay. So, and then the last type of strategy you have to have is with the 7 DTE trade. And the 7 DTE trade is the easier trade of the 3. Right? It's the easier trade of the three because you have more time, you have less gamma risk. You still have gamma risk because it's a short-term trade, but you have a significantly less than the 0 DTE and the 1 DTE trade. And you could manage it at a significantly better level. Right? You can adjust it after 1 day, you can adjust it after 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You can adjust it all the way up until it's a 0 DTE type of trade. We don't recommend that, but you technically can. So you have a lot more time to be able to deal with the trade and see if you can eke out a profit on it. And we teach that process as well in other videos, and we teach it if you decide to join the Dorian Trader. So you have to have a strategy when you are doing these three type of short-term trades. And then number two, you have to have excellent risk management. Okay, so I've alluded to it a little bit already. Is your risk management just willy-nilly? Do you just jump into trade like so many people do when it comes to trying to do short-term option trading in the SPX? They jump into it and have no plan, no strategy, as we talked about step number one. And then if they don't have a strategy, don't have a plan, then obviously they don't have any risk management. And so they're willy-nilly about it, and next you know, they wind up killing their account, blowing up their account. You need to have risk management. Are you getting out of the trade once your short leg is breached, touched? Or are you getting out of the trade once you're down 2 times the credit you received, or 3 times the credit you received, or 4 times the credit you received? How are you exiting that trade? So at the Dorian Trader, we teach a process of getting out based on the credit you received, and we teach a process of getting out based on what delta your short leg reaches, right? And we call that a risk zone. So we have what we call a green zone, a yellow zone, and a red zone. And so the red zone is where you need to make an adjustment. Most likely, you need to make an adjustment to correct the trade. And so if you're doing an iron condor, you're usually going to have one side that's the problem, and the other side is going to be a full winner. So if you understand that dynamics, you can adjust the trade to reposition it to make it a lot higher probability of you still winning on the trade. And we teach people that at the Dorian Trader.
Be happy and say, subscribe to our channel and trade those options. Come on, fire it up.
Please subscribe to the channel. And please subscribe to those options.
So the third thing you need to have, after you have came up with your plan, your strategy, and your risk management, you still have to have a stopping point or an uncle point. Okay? You have to have an uncle point. When do you say, all right, this trade is just not going to work out for me. It's too much risk in it. I don't want to lose too much on this trade. When do you just exit it, right? So at the Dorian Trader, we teach that process. When do you exit a trade? You have, if you're using a short-term trade and you're trying to use 5,000 per every one contract that you do you lose that whole 5,000, or do you lose a small percentage of that 5,000 before you say uncle, right? You have to have an uncle point. It makes no sense if you trade these strategies without having an uncle point. So we encourage you to jump into a lot of our other videos. Supporters help us grow to 5K in subscribers. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comment area. We answer all questions or all comments. We do appreciate you watching this video. Hopefully we'll see you in another one.